Hello everybody, welcome to the video. My channel name is College Football Frenzy, and today I'm going to be talking about the Texas A&M Aggies 2020 football schedule. The Aggies last year had one of the toughest schedules in all of college football. They went 7-5. They lost all their games that they were supposed to lose. They won all the games that they were supposed to win, but still overall it was a pretty average season for the Aggies. They did win their bowl game against Oklahoma State. That was the biggest win of the season, but definitely they have some room for improvement. They just were not able to get an upset over any really good SEC team last year. So they'll be looking to do that this upcoming season. Already looking at their schedule, they have a couple tough games, but it's definitely much easier than the schedule they had last year. A couple tough games toward the end of the season you see. But the start of the season, it seems pretty easy. Like those first 6 games seem like a breeze. So I think Texas A&M is going to have higher hopes this upcoming season. Their schedule is manageable. Again, though, they have a couple tough games. I'm going to get into it right away. Roster-wise, Texas A&M obviously is going to be led by Kellen Mond again at the quarterback position, and they have a pretty good recruiting class. I believe it's a top 10 recruiting class. So overall, they probably will have pretty good talent, not necessarily as great as talent as schools like LSU or Alabama, but they should be fine. Alright, getting into their schedule. Number 1, Abilene Christian, that's an easy win. North Texas, easy win. Colorado, the first Power 5 school they play. One of the worst teams in the Pac-12. It's a home game for Texas A&M. They'll win that game. Arkansas, I would say guarantee, but Texas A&M did struggle a little bit with Arkansas. They nearly lost to Arkansas last season. So, you never know what could happen. It's a rivalry game. I'm still taking Texas A&M to win by like around 14. But, they might be rusty in this game. We'll see. 5 at Mississippi State. This one is interesting because Mike Leach is going to be coaching Mississippi State. It's an away game for Texas A&M. So I definitely think Mississippi State could give Texas A&M a lot of trouble. This could definitely be a close game. I'm taking Texas A&M, but beware of that pass attack if you're Jimbo Fisher, because Mississippi State, now with Mike Leach, that should be interesting. So I'm excited to see what happens there. But, I'm taking Texas A&M to win in a close one. 6, Fresno State. A few years ago, maybe this would be a really close one, but Fresno State's very bad now. They were one of the worst teams in the Pac-12 last year. I take Texas A&M to win this game. 7 at Auburn. This is the first really, really big game of the year. The first probably ranked matchup of the season. And it comes in a big time, middle of the season, only a couple weeks before you get your bye week. They're probably going to be going into this game, Texas A&M 6-0, and Auburn probably will be like 5-1 or something like that, or maybe 6-0. So it's going to be a big matchup. Game day could possibly go there. There's some other matchups, but they could definitely go to that location. It should be an interesting game, definitely. Last year, Auburn beat Texas A&M in Kyle Field, I believe, by like a little over 10 points. I might be wrong, but they definitely controlled the game for most of it. Looking at this time, it's going to be at Auburn, which is a very tough place to play in Jordan-Hare Stadium. So I definitely think that will hurt Texas A&M. Auburn's also, they still have Bo Nix. I think he's going to develop a little bit and become more experienced. I feel like inexperience hurt him last season, but now being more experienced, I think he'll be better. I believe they still have Seth Williams at the wide receiver position. He was pretty good last season. Their main losses are Jatarvius Whitlow at the running back position and Derek Brown at the defensive tackle position. So overall, Auburn still should be a pretty strong team, and it's an away game for Texas A&M. So I have the Tigers winning this one in a close one. I think it's going to be close. I think Texas A&M can definitely give them some trouble, but I have the Tigers winning this one. At South Carolina, should be an easy one. I will admit South Carolina had a very, very tough schedule last season. Even their cupcake game, App State, that was a ranked matchup. Or it was a ranked team, I guess I could say, because South Carolina wasn't ranked. But that was a ranked team they played. So they definitely had a tough schedule, South Carolina. So next season they might be like a 7-5 team, but I still don't think they're that good, South Carolina overall. So I'll take Texas A&M to win this one. Bye week. Perfect time to have your bye week. only a few weeks before you play Alabama LSU. 10 Ole Miss. Ole Miss has Kiffin. The talent's lacking there. A lot of the recruits left after or decommitted after their old coach was fired. I think Ole Miss is going to have a tough first season under Lane Kiffin. I'll take the Aggies to win this one. Vanderbilt, biggest guarantee on here, maybe besides Abilene Christian in North Texas. Biggest guarantee in the SEC in my opinion. I have Texas A&M winning this one. 12 at Alabama. So lucky, like I said, for Texas A&M, you kind of get 2 bye weeks, only a couple weeks before Alabama. You obviously week 9's the bye, and week 11 that's a bye week as well because they're playing Vanderbilt. So it's a good time to have a cupcake game right before your big game. That's definitely going to help. This will be a big matchup. It's going to be a ranked matchup. The winner of this game probably has control over the SEC West. So it's a huge matchup. Alabama probably is going to be coming in this game either 9-1 or 10-0, and Texas A&M should be coming into this game 9-1, maybe even 10-0. It could be a battle of two 10-0 teams. So it's going to be a big matchup. This should be interesting, but at the end of the day, I just feel like Alabama has much more talent. The coaching matchup will be interesting, but Alabama just has more talent, especially on the offense with weapons, even on the defense. I feel like Texas A&M is going to struggle playing at Bryant Denny, so I have Alabama winning this one. 13, LSU, big rival here. So LSU absolutely destroyed the Aggies last year. I don't think LSU was very happy after they lost in 7 overtimes the year before that. So they got their revenge clearly. This time coming back to Kyle Field. Big rivalry game, like I said, obviously. I think it's going to be more interesting than the game was last season because obviously Texas A&M is just about as strong and LSU's clearly a lot weaker. They're losing, obviously, Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator. They're losing Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, and a ton, and I mean a ton of talent, especially Joe Burrow. With that being said, LSU still has a top 5 recruiting class, and that's going to hurt Texas A&M, in my opinion. LSU still has some weapons left, like Jamar Chase, which helps, and they also have Miles Brennan, who should be a decent quarterback. So I have LSU winning this one, going to Kyle Field and getting the W. I definitely think it'll be closer than the game was last season. And at this point, both teams probably actually will be, in my opinion, 9-2. So it could be like a playing game for like a spot in a New Year's Six Bowl. So I believe it's going to have a lot on the line in that game. But I have LSU winning. So overall, I have the Aggies at 9-3. If Jimbo Fisher cannot go 9-3 with this team, there's some serious problems. I mean, the schedule is not too hard besides from a couple of games. They really should go 9-3 at least. If they go 8-4, there's definitely problems. I would say 10-2 is the best they do. Maybe even 11-1. You never know. So I feel like the Aggies will get there maybe in a few years, but right now they still have a lot to learn. The SEC West still has some great teams. I feel like LSU is still a pretty strong team, and of course Alabama is a strong team. But they'll get there eventually. But that's it for now, guys. Thanks for joining in. I probably will upload maybe a Notre Dame schedule prediction sometime later today or tomorrow, and I'll do a Georgia one as well soon. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks for joining in.